Senrigen, often called the clairvoyant eye, is one of those god-tier dojutsu that doesn't follow the usual family inheritance rules. Instead of being something you're born with, Senrigen is literally engineered. Ada received it thanks to DNA taken from Shibai Otsutsuki, a being who transcended mortality itself. The moment this eye activates, you can spot a glowing crescent mark in her left eye, almost like a tiny star shimmering in the distance. Unlike most traditional dojutsu that focus heavily on combat, Senrigen isn't about fighting at all, it's about surveillance, intel, and information dominance. With this eye, Ada can see anything happening anywhere in the world instantly, with zero delay and no distance limit. If something is taking place on the other side of the planet, she watches it like she's standing right there. And it doesn't stop at the present. Senrigen lets her rewind any event she's experienced since birth, making her essentially the ultimate historian of her own lifetime. Because of that, fans often call Senrigen the most powerful information-gathering dojutsu in the entire Boruto series. But the real twist comes when Senrigen combines with Ada's innate ability known as omnipotence. When these two merge, she's not just watching reality anymore, she can influence it. One of the biggest examples is the infamous memory swap between Boruto and Kawaki. Thanks to this combined power, Ada didn't just observe the shift, she literally caused the world to perceive Boruto as the enemy and Kawaki as the hero. That one move alone changed the political climate of Konoha and reshaped the story's entire direction. Even with all that, Senrigen isn't limitless. It cannot read minds, nor can it track events inside a person's spiritual or mental world. That's why Ada couldn't listen in on the private conversation between Boruto and Momoshiki, and why she couldn't intercept Sarada and Sumire's telepathic link. So despite its absurd reach, there's still a boundary separating physical reality from the inner world. Still, Senrigen puts Ada in a position far beyond ordinary influence. She becomes this hidden puppet master, capable of spotting plots from a motto and code before they unfold, manipulating alliances, and nudging major events in her favor. If Jogan hints at the future, Senrigen perfectly exposes the past, and the combination of both dojutsu paints a picture of a world where information and destiny collide. Jogan, or pure eye. This dojutsu might be the mysterious heart of Boruto's entire storyline. The Jogan appears only in Boruto's right eye and is easy to recognize thanks to its pale blue glow and slit-like pupil. In the anime, it even has a noticeable dark marking around it, though in the manga its design is simpler. What makes the Jogan so captivating is that it shows up rarely, but every moment it activates holds enormous significance. Its origin is still officially unconfirmed. However, fans and in-story hints suggest it's linked deeply to the Otsutsuki clan, possibly emerging from a mix of Naruto's lineage, descended from Hagoromo, and Hinata's lineage, descended from Hamura. That blend of Uzumaki and Hyuga blood could be the spark that allowed the Jogan to manifest at all. Jogan's known abilities are already impressive. It can see chakra pathways inside the body and pinpoint weak spots even more accurately than the Byakugan. It can sense negative emotions, detect abnormal chakra flows, and even perceive special energies like the dark chakra of creatures such as Nu. One of its craziest traits is the ability to detect dimensional distortions and predict incoming space-time techniques, something that becomes crucial throughout Boruto's journey. The first time it ever activated on its own was during the Mitsuki disappearance arc. Under immense pressure, Boruto's Jogan revealed hidden dimensions and helped him uncover the truth behind Nu's reappearance. But even now, Boruto has almost no conscious control over it. It wakes up only during extreme circumstances, almost like it has a will of its own. And in the manga, the Jogan hasn't appeared at all yet, possibly sleeping, dormant, or waiting for a future catalyst. Its importance in the future, however, is undeniable. Toneri Otsutsuki once warned that Boruto's Jogan is the key to saving the world from a looming darkness. On the flip side, Momoshiki ominously claimed that Boruto would lose everything because of this eye. Those two statements together imply that the Jogan will play a critical role in the conflict involving the Otsutsuki, Shibai, and the mysterious two blue vortexes storyline surrounding Boruto and Kawaki. Kokugan, the black eye. This dojutsu belongs exclusively to Ashiki Otsutsuki and later manifests in Kawaki through the karma mark. Its appearance is striking: pitch black sclera, a golden pupil, and a wheel-like pattern with 8 spokes. Kokugan's main ability is Sukanahakona, which instantly shrinks any object within the user's field of vision. The shrink happens so fast that even the legendary Rinnegan of Sasuke couldn't track it. Kokugan also lets the user shrink themselves without losing strength, which creates insane dodge potential. But the real synergy happens when paired with Daikokaten, a spatial storage ability that lets the user stash shrunken objects inside a timeless pocket dimension. With this combo, a Shiki could shrink deadly objects, hide them, then summon them at full size to ambush opponents with zero warning. In his battle with Naruto and Sasuke, he unleashed black cubes that could crush chakra and disrupt space. Kawaki later used these same abilities through Karma to defeat Code. However, Kokugan has one major drawback: it cannot shrink living beings. That limitation forces the user to rely on tactics and timing rather than brute force and prevents the Dojutsu from being completely unfair. Rinnegan Tomoe. The Rinnegan Tomoe is one of those legendary hybrid evolutions that only someone like Sasuke Uchiha could ever wield. Sitting in his left eye, it shares the same violet concentric rings as a standard Rinnegan, but what sets it apart are the 6 black Tomoe arranged around the rings. This Dojutsu blends the raw power of the Mangekyo Sharingan with the multi-dimensional abilities of the Rinnegan, creating a visual symbol of Sasuke's evolution after receiving chakra from Hagoromo Otsutsuki during the 4th Great Ninja War. Thanks to this eye, Sasuke gained incredible spatial and temporal manipulation techniques. His most iconic ability, Eminate Hikara, allows him to instantly swap positions with anyone or anything in his field of vision. No seals, no incantations, no build-up. This single move has saved him countless times, letting him dodge attacks that should have been fatal or letting him deliver sudden counterattacks from unexpected angles. Sasuke once swapped places with his sword mid-battle just to land a surprise strike on Kinshiki, and the execution was so fast that even high-tier Otsutsuki fighters couldn't react. But it doesn't stop there. Rinnegan Tomoe also gives Sasuke the power to open portals to different dimensions, something absolutely crucial when dealing with godlike enemies such as Kagaya or Momoshiki. Using this, Sasuke has transported entire teams across dimensions, tracked enemies escaping through rifts, and chased them into completely foreign worlds when necessary. And even though he awakened the Rinnegan, Sasuke still retains the deadly arsenal of his Mangekyo Sharingan, Amaterasu, the eternal black flames that cannot be extinguished, and Susanoo, the massive armored guardian that protects him in battle. These layered abilities create a combination so advanced that Sasuke stands at the top of the shinobi world even in the Boruto era. However, the Tomoe Rinnegan isn't without flaws. Overuse causes the Tomoe patterns to fade temporarily, weakening Sasuke's visual clarity and preventing certain abilities from activating. And like most dojutsu that tap into extra-dimensional forces, the chakra consumption is enormous. Every portal, every swap, every spatial distortion drains him quickly, meaning Sasuke needs precise control and careful timing just to stay functional in a long fight. Rinnegan. From here, we shift to the legendary Rinnegan itself, one of the most iconic dojutsu ever introduced. Recognizable by its pale purple rings representing the 6 paths, the Rinnegan grants mastery over all aspects of chakra, life, death, and spacetime. In Boruto, we've seen multiple color variations of the Rinnegan: red, blue, gold, and green, each tied to a specific Otsutsuki member's adaptation or evolution. The Rinnegan's origins trace back to Hagoromo Otsutsuki, the sage of 6 paths, who awakened it naturally after inheriting chakra from both Kagaya and the 10 Tails. In the Boruto timeline, this dojutsu passes primarily to Sasuke as well as certain Otsutsuki like Momoshiki and Urashiki, each demonstrating their own spin on the ancient power. By default, the Rinnegan grants access to the 6 paths techniques. Diva Path. Control gravity, allowing push-pull techniques like universal pull or almighty push. Asura Path. Mechanize the body, turning limbs into weapons. Human Path. Extract souls and read memories. Animal Path. Summon various creatures with unique abilities. Preta Path. Absorb chakra-based attacks. Naraka Path. Summon the King of Hell for judgment and healing. And finally, the Outer Path, which controls life and death directly and manipulates the Gedo statue. But its greatest drawback is the insane chakra cost. Even elite shinobi struggle to use multiple paths in a single battle because the dojutsu drains them so quickly. Red Rinnegan. Among the Rinnegan variants, the Red Rinnegan is one of the wildest. Exclusive to Urashiki Otsutsuki, this crimson eye symbolizes temporal manipulation. It activates whenever Urashiki absorbs a large amount of sage chakra, particularly from Mitsuki. Unlike most dojutsu that deal with perception or prediction, the Red Rinnegan lets Urashiki rewind actual time. Not guess. Not simulate. Literally rewind several seconds or longer to rewrite the immediate past. Urashiki used this to dodge Jiraiya's attacks during their battle. He let himself get hit, observed the move, rewound time, and then countered instantly using his chakra fishing rod. In real time, it felt like he was untouchable. But this power isn't perfect. Every activation accelerates Urashiki's personal timeline. When he was trapped inside the giant toad's stomach, time passed faster for him, forcing him into risky moves that ultimately cost him the fight. Golden Rinnegan. Then there's the Golden Rinnegan, seen only in Momoshiki after consuming Kinshiki. The golden glow represents divine power fueled by stolen chakra. Instead of using the standard 6 paths techniques, Momoshiki relies heavily on 2 abilities tied to the golden eyes on his palms. His right hand Rinnegan absorbs any jutsu. His left hand Rinnegan reuses the same jutsu but on a massively amplified scale. This creates a terrifying loop. The stronger the opponent's attack, the stronger Momoshiki's counterstrike becomes. He doesn't even need to invent new techniques. He weaponizes the enemy's power against them. On top of that, he compresses stolen chakra into red pills to replenish himself instantly. The third golden eye on his forehead enhances his perception, giving him almost perfect awareness of battlefield movements. During his battle against Naruto, Sasuke, and the 5 Kage, Momoshiki absorbed a giant Rasengan and launched it back with catastrophic force. That single moment revealed why the Golden Rinnegan is so feared. It turns even the strongest jutsu into a liability. But even this form has weaknesses. Momoshiki relies heavily on absorbing chakra because the Golden Rinnegan burns through energy insanely fast. His fighting style is all about overwhelming bursts, not sustained clashes. Blue Rinnegan. Next, we move to the Blue Rinnegan, another rare mutation used by Urashiki. This one activates alongside the Red Rinnegan when he absorbs large quantities of natural energy. The blue coloration symbolizes deep perception, specifically the ability to see a few seconds into the future. This short-term precognition lets him predict attacks with near-perfect accuracy, dodge strikes effortlessly, and counter before the opponent even finishes their move. Urashiki used this power during a mission where he clashed with Boruto and Shinki. He saw every move they planned and reacted as if reading from a script. But the Blue Rinnegan has limits. It only shows predetermined outcomes. When Boruto fought unpredictably, switching styles and acting outside standard patterns, Urashiki's foresight broke down, ultimately leading to his defeat. Mangekyo Sharingan. Finally, we arrive at Sarada Uchiha's Mangekyo Sharingan, one of the newest and most intriguing dojutsu evolutions in the Boruto storyline. Instead of relying on illusions or fire-based techniques like her predecessors, Sarada's Mangekyo ability takes a radically different path. It manipulates gravity. In Boruto, 2 Blue Vortex, Sarada demonstrates this power by creating gravitational distortions simply by focusing her gaze. She can open rifts that bend force in specific locations, summon metal from underground, pull weapons from opponents' hands, and even freeze incoming attacks in midair. Unlike teleportation-based jutsu like Kamui, Sarada's technique alters the battlefield itself, making escape or defense incredibly difficult. But at this stage, the ability is still developing. We don't know its chakra cost, duration, or long-term effects. Like many Mangekyo powers, it may risk damaging her eyesight, though that hasn't been confirmed. What we do know is that this dojutsu represents a completely new direction for the Uchiha clan. Tactical environmental control rather than raw destructive power. Byakugan. Now we shift into another ancient dojutsu, Byakugan, or what fans jokingly call bug, in reference to certain mistranslations. The Byakugan traces its roots all the way back to the Otsutsuki clan and later becomes the signature eye of the Hyuga clan. Its most recognizable feature is the milky white eye without visible pupils. And when activated, veins bulge around the temples as chakra flows intensely to the ocular network. Byakugan grants almost full 360-degree vision, with only a tiny blind spot at the back of the neck. It can see through walls, detect chakra networks inside living beings, and observe the flow of chakra with stunning precision. This is what makes Hyuga Taijutsu, the famous gentle fist, so lethal. Instead of relying on brute strength, the user strikes chakra points directly, shutting down the opponent's internal energy system. Even a light strike from gentle fist can weaken, paralyze, or completely incapacitate an opponent. A funny but iconic example of Byakugan's raw power is Himawari accidentally knocking Naruto unconscious with a single hit. She was just a kid. But the moment her Byakugan awakened, Instinct took over and Naruto couldn't even react in time. That alone shows the terrifying dormant potential inside the Hyuga lineage. Then there's the Golden Byakugan, exclusive to high-ranking Otsutsuki like Momoshiki and Urashiki. This version is essentially Byakugan on divine-level steroids, faster perception, sharper analysis, and enhanced reaction speed. The golden glow symbolizes their godlike chakra purity. Even so, Byakugan, whether normal or golden, doesn't focus on offensive output like Rinnegan or Mangekyo. Its weakness is the same blind spot, which can be exploited if opponents know where it is. Still, in battles where awareness and precise chakra targeting matter, Byakugan remains an absolute monster. From there we move to one of the rarest dojutsu ever introduced, Tenseigan. With its glowing blue iris and white flower-like pattern, Tenseigan stands as a counterpart to Rinnegan in sheer destructive power. It originates from the lineage of Hamura Otsutsuki, specifically among his descendants. Awakening the Tenseigan requires merging a pure Byakugan with Otsutsuki chakra, exactly what Toneri did on the moon. Once he awakened it, Toneri gained unprecedented control over chakra, enough to manipulate astral bodies. Yes, literally. Toneri used the Tenseigan to shift the moon's orbit and attempted to crash it toward Earth, a feat that instantly solidifies Tenseigan as one of the strongest eye techniques in the entire franchise. Tenseigan. From there we move to one of the rarest dojutsu ever introduced, Tenseigan. With its glowing blue iris and white flower-like pattern, Tenseigan stands as a counterpart to Rinnegan in sheer destructive power. It originates from the lineage of Hamura Otsutsuki, specifically among his descendants. Awakening the Tenseigan requires merging a pure Byakugan with Otsutsuki chakra, exactly what Toneri did on the moon. Once he awakened it, Toneri gained unprecedented control over chakra, enough to manipulate astral bodies. Yes, literally. Toneri used the Tenseigan to shift the moon's orbit and attempted to crash it toward Earth, a feat that instantly solidifies Tenseigan as one of the strongest eye techniques in the entire franchise. One of its most devastating abilities is the Tenseigan chakra mode, which covers the user in a radiant cloak that boosts speed, strength, and elemental control. It also enhances yin-yang release, allowing the user to create chakra weapons like the energy sword Toneri used to slice the moon's surface. In The Last Naruto the movie, this dojutsu was the backbone of Toneri's entire planetary threat. However, Tenseigan is unstable. If overused or mismanaged, its energy can degrade, causing the eye to revert or lose potency. Maintaining it long-term requires extraordinary control, something Toneri struggled with. Next is Ketsuryugan, one of the most underrated but terrifying dojutsu. Exclusive to members of the Chinoik clan. Its name means, blood dragon eye. The eye appears blood red, resembling a pool of liquid crimson, though it doesn't get as much screen time as Sharingan or Byakugan. It's considered comparable in rarity and danger. Ketsuryugan's specialty is genjutsu and blood manipulation. Users can cast high-level illusions through direct eye contact, or even through direct skin contact. That alone makes it difficult to defend against, because even a brief touch can ensnare the victim. But its most horrifying power is manipulating iron-rich fluids, including blood. A Ketsuryugan user can turn blood into weapons, restraints, or defensive constructs. In the Boruto side story featuring Chino, she used Ketsuryugan to create blood constructs and trap Sasuke in illusions so intense that even he struggled to break free. Considering Sasuke's mastery over genjutsu and dojutsu, the fact that she nearly overwhelmed him speaks volumes about Ketsuryugan's threat level. Then we have the mysterious eyes of Yamamaru, a character who appears only in a Naruto filler arc but brings surprisingly unique abilities. His dojutsu doesn't have an official name, but its glowing red design gives him powers that revolve around perception and healing. Yamamaru can see through solid objects, detect vitality, and manipulate sensory perception, skills perfect for reconnaissance and support. But the standout ability is his life transference healing technique. He can share his own life force to stabilize or revive individuals on the brink of death. While not an offensive dojutsu, it's incredibly valuable in missions involving rescue, infiltration, or assassination since it also allows him to mask life signatures. Yamamaru's dojutsu hasn't reappeared in Boruto, leaving its true potential unexplored. Its origins remain murky, and it's never been tied to any major clan like Otsutsuki or Hyuga. And that's where we wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any deep dives like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.